Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to play with some new and some old makeup. I have a lot of holiday collection makeup items here, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun and play with some makeup. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one live through a video chat. So if you've picked up any makeup items recently that you can't quite seem to make work for you in your collection, that is the perfect time to book a consultation. I will walk you through what you already own, and you probably don't even need to buy anything new. You probably have enough. And I also offer gift cards. These are a perfect gift for the holiday season for a makeup lover. So if you want to make an appointment or if you want to get a gift card, click the link in the description box down below. Okay, so the centerpiece of today's look is not new. This is the Dior Soft Cashmere eyeshadow palette. I used this a few weeks ago and a lot of you asked for a tutorial. So this will be the eye look, but then I have a lot of newer face and base products too. So to start with, we're going into the center shade here, and I'm trying to recreate what I did. I'm not exactly 100% certain, so I'm just going to go off of a little bit of muscle memory. So I'm going to take that center brown shade and just place it all over the lid here. Now this palette came out like, what, 2 years ago? At least a whole year ago. This is when Dior redid their entire eyeshadow formula, and it's one of the best out there now. It's so buttery, so creamy, so soft. I know so many of you already own this, but if you've been on the fence about getting this palette, it's beautiful. And all of my brushes that I'm using today, as always, are listed in the description down below. All right, now let's go into this cool tone shade down here. I'm going to use one of the sponge tip applicators that came with the palette. Now, my American friends, you're having your Thanksgiving very soon, aren't you? Here in Canada, we already had ours in October, but I know that for our American friends, you guys are having Thanksgiving very shortly. Let me know how that's going. Have you finished peeling and chopping everything? Is all of the prep finished, or are you still running out last minute? I think, you know, when you host a Thanksgiving dinner or any holiday dinner, you sort of have to expect that someone is going to have to run out last minute to get something. Sometimes you run out of eggs, or you need an extra can of the jelly cranberry sauce. I love the Ocean Spray canned jelly cranberry sauce. That's my favorite. I've made my own cranberry sauce before. It's never as good as the canned jelly, in my opinion. I'm taking a little tapered brush here, and I'm bringing this up a little bit in the crease, just so we can see a little bit more, because I do have hooded eyes here. I know a lot of people are doing a bigger Thanksgiving party this year because, you know, last year really sucked, and it just seems like this year is the year that people are just like sort of getting back into normal life and having parties and seeing family and friends again, which is super exciting. So we had a little Thanksgiving thing, and we're going to have a Christmas party in a few weeks, but we're having our Christmas party early because a lot of people are traveling this year. So we're just going to have it early so we can just see everyone before everyone flies off. Because for us, the point of the party isn't necessarily to have it on a certain date. It's more just to assemble everyone or reassemble the whole group and just like be able to have a party and be indoors and enjoy each other's company. How wild is that, you know? Now I'm going into the lighter shade on top here, and I'm going to place it on the inner part of the eye here. Now let's go into the dark matte shade, just very lightly. I'm trying to rein in my extra jean. I think when I did the original look, I didn't put as much on the inner part here. I don't think I mixed as many colors. So I think maybe just going in with this lighter shade at first and then using the darker shades would be, you know, a different look as well. I think this is really nice, but I think it's a little bit different than when I created originally. Now taking a pencil brush, I'm just tracing the dark matte shadow under the bottom lashes. Now I do have a little bit of fallout here with some of the more satiny colors, so I'm going to take a little bit of eye cream. This is a sample of the Chantecaille Stress Repair Concentrate, and just using a Q-tip here, just take whatever eye cream you have. You can use a sample of eye cream, eye mask, eye serum, doesn't really matter, just as long as it isn't makeup remover. Makeup remover also removes any skincare you place around the eye, so just go with a bit of skincare instead. Now for a new discovery that has completely blown my mind, the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. I have the shade here called the Satin Kajal Liner in Ash. These are amazing. They're so buttery, so smooth. You barely have to put any pressure and it just glides completely. And one of the best parts about this is this little sponge nub on the back here. So you can just buff it out and blur it out very easily. I think that all super creamy liners should come with one of these little sponge tips because it's like having an eyeshadow brush built in. It's really fabulous. I'm also going to take a waterproof liner to put in the top waterline. This is from Chanel. I'm using a black one, so I prefer a waterproof liner for the top waterline. I just find otherwise it does transfer a little bit, not that much, but with waterproof, you're just more guaranteed that it's going to last all day. Now for the mascara, I'm going into my Chantecaille Ful Longest Lash Mascara. This is really great if you like a fake lash effect, but with mascara instead of actual fake lashes. Now let's go ahead and do the face makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and add a bit of primer. I don't usually do this, but I'm kind of just feeling like my skin is needing a little bit more with foundation. So I'm gonna go into my Bobbi Brown face base. This is the vitamin enriched face base. It smells amazing. It smells citrusy. I'm certain many of you are familiar with this. It's quite popular. So I'm just going to use a little bit just to add a little bit of glow and moisture. Now for the foundation, I'm going into my Westman Atelier foundation stick. I am in the shade number 3. I'm almost done this foundation. Look, there's like, that's it. That's all that's left here. So I may in fact pan this foundation. How exciting is that? Do you want to hear a story? So a few weeks ago, I went to see Julia at the Holt Renfrew Chanel boutique or counter. And I got there early. She was still on her lunch break. So I decided, oh, what is this? Eyeliner, I think. Oops. So I decided to walk around and browse because she was still on her break. So I went up to the shoe department and I was around the Louboutin shoe section, the red bottom shoes. And I saw a client talking to a sales associate. And the client literally went, service. I know, I took a minute. I was like, am I in a movie? Am I on like candid camera? Because those are filmed in Montreal. Am I on those like just for laugh gag videos? I don't know what happened. I walked away. I was like, I saw the thing and I was like, back to the makeup department I go. It was like a caricature of like a terrible rich person. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just had to share that because I saw that and I was like, who does that? Like, who does that? Like, in my experience, the nicer you are to salespeople, the nicer they are to you and like the better service you get, and like just the whole thing was atrocious. Like, I don't even know. And it's so like not classy too. The whole thing was bad, just so bad. All of that to say, please remember to be kind to sales associates in general, but also during the holiday season when maybe they're a bit busier. But like, holy crap, I have never seen that before, and I don't care to see it ever again. Anyway, I'm going in with my Clé de Peau concealer. This is the shade Almond. So for the blush, I want to use a palette here that NARS sent to me. This is the Full Access Cheek Palette. So in the kit here, you get a cheek brush here that you can use either for blush or bronzer, because this palette here has, I think, 3 blushes and 1 bronzer. In the palette, you get Tempted, Orgasm, and Behave. Those are the 3 blushes. And then you get Laguna, which is their iconic bronzer. Front of the palette here is the motif for their holiday collection this year. It looks like ribbons that say NARS written across the front here. So 2 of the blushes have a soft satiny finish. 1 is matte, and then you get the matte bronzer as well. I thought for the cheeks today, we could go ahead and use this and try it out. Now, I know that today that I'm filming Monday, NARS has a 20% off on their website. So anything on the website is 20% off. And then if you spend $150 or more, you get 30%. Now, this sale does include the beautiful Climax eyeshadow palette. This is the one that came out in the fall. I used this several times. A lot of you tried it out and told me how much you love it. I think it's fantastic. It's one of those palettes that I had to be convinced of because, I don't know, I wasn't really convinced right away, but the formula is outstanding. It's completely on par with Dior as far as the creaminess, the blendability. It's really a wonderful palette, and anytime you purchase a palette, regardless of how many colors you see, you don't have to use all of them at once. Only stick to like 2, maybe 3. So you could go with like maybe the greens and then a lighter topper shade, or go with like the neutrals and then maybe an earth tone. Stick to that. So I would recommend the Climax palette, and then also the Pure Tinted Moisturizer. I use the shade Mykonos. This is Your Skin But Better, very lightweight, sheer, very breathable, very natural. If you like Your Skin But Better and you want something that's going to be a bit more moisturizing, the tinted moisturizer is great. If you're interested in the NARS sale, if you're not, that's totally okay too. There have been so many Black Friday and like pre-Black Friday sales. I swear after Halloween, all the brands have been having their Cyber Week, Black Friday sales the entire month of November. It's been a lot. I've been trying to keep my eye on the prize and only shop collections or releases that I really want, and so far it's going well. I think I'll go ahead and skip face powder. I like what's going on here. So I'm gonna go into the Laguna bronzer first with an angled brush, but then I'll use a separate brush, like the brush that came with the kit here, for the blush afterwards. I can see why people like the Laguna bronzer. It's really soft. It doesn't offer like any hint of orange, which is great because we don't want an orange tan. It just looks a little bit sun-kissed and it's really nice. I think this is also quite buildable. I'm going in lighter, of course. You can always add more, but I think this is nice. This is just enough for me. Now for the blush, I want to go into the matte shade here called Behave. It's a bit more cool toned and I think it'll go nicely with my look today. This shade is really beautiful. It reminds me of the Laura Mercier Chai Matte Blush because it's subtle, and even though it's matte, it's not flat. It looks really beautiful and kind of like in that Your Cheek But Better category. Now, this palette does not have a highlighter. It's just blush and bronzer. So for the highlighter, I have a couple options. I have the Chantecaille highlighter from their holiday collection here. This beautiful, slightly pearlescent, more cool tone leaning highlighter. I also have the Guerlain Meteorite Pearls. These ones are more golden and they hit a little bit warmer, a little bit darker. They're also very beautiful. I'm going to try to show these to you without having them fall all over the place. But as you can see, they're really beautiful and they have the wonderful violet powdery scent as well. And then last but not least, I have the Clé de Peau highlighter, which is beautiful. This one is called Aglow with Wonder, number 102. This did restock on the Clé de Peau website. This was sold out, but it restocked yesterday, so there should still be a couple left on the site, but maybe not that many because it is very popular. I'm leaning more towards either the Chantecaille or Clé de Peau because I think this look, I want something a little bit cooler. You know what I'll do? I'll do one side with Clé de Peau and one side with Chantecaille because I just can't decide. Now, which one do you prefer, Chantecaille or Clé de Peau? I think I'm leaning more towards Clé de Peau. I think the mixture of a little bit of pink and a little bit of gold, like it is still more cool, but when we compare these two, Chantecaille looks much more cool. It's more pearlescent with a little bit of white. I mean, it's still really nice, but I think this Clé de Peau one is a little bit nicer. Chantecaille is much more subtle, so if you want something more subtle, more demure, I think that the Chantecaille one would be something you'd prefer. But honestly, I love the glow from the Clé de Peau one. I think the mixture of all the colors together just makes it look really lovely. They're both great. I don't know. Which one do you prefer? And then for the lip, I'm going into Chantecaille. This is the Lip Chic in the shade Jarul. I know that that's mispronounced. Please correct me in the comments. This has quickly become one of my favorite go-to colors. It's a nice rosy pink and it kind of just goes with everything. So if you're not sure what to wear for a lip color, this is just like one of those no-brainer shades. It reminds me a little bit of the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in Live or Live number 82. That's sort of like nudie, your lip but better with a little bit of color. The final step of any makeup look is always perfume, and I feel like going in with an oldie but a goodie. This is Lancôme La Vie est Belle. This is the Eau de Parfum. This is the gourmand, sweet, caramel, chocolate latte type of fragrance. It smells indulgent, it smells decadent, and I just think that it is a great scent for colder winter months, and it always smells amazing. I always get tons of compliments whenever I wear this, so that's today's fragrance. All right, that is it for today's look. A little get ready with me, mixing some new with some old, some favorites with some new favorites. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I have a lot of new makeup, so I will continue to do these types of like mix and match, new and old types of videos. If you're new to my channel, or if you've been watching for some time but just haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Those are all fabulous ways to encourage me on my channel. So on that note, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.